Hey, what's up everybody? Joshua Casper back at you with Plugin Boutique for another 2-Minute Tuesday. This is the show where we take a plugin from our website and show you a cool tip, trick, or technique in under 2 minutes. Today we're going to be using the Weiss Deess from Softube to go ahead and de-ess this vocal. Let's go ahead and check out the vocal.
We live in silence.
So I'm sure you heard it, and you can actually see it in the waveform. There's an S here that's way bigger than the rest of the waveform, and it's really harsh on the ears. So what I would do is come in and just solo that, and then I would jump into the Weiss de-esser here, and I'm going to show you some quick things before we actually jump into the process here. There's a hidden panel over here where you can go much deeper into how the compressors are working. You guys also have a parallel mix control. You can do internal or external side chaining. You got a zoom control, low latency as well for tracking. And all of that is great, and maybe we'll get into that in a future tutorial, but for this we only need to focus on this box right here and the actual graphic user interface, because this is how you do a lot of the controls. So we have two compressors here. I'm going to shut off this other one. That's great for getting rid of CHs and THs and other harsh tones in the upper frequencies, but we're just going to focus on the de-essing. I'm going to go ahead and run this and move the compressor around to find those S's so we can clean them up. So before we actually jump in, I got to talk about the controls here because it's mostly done inside of here. As I was saying, up here at the top is how you choose the frequency. It's at the very top no matter where you are. At the very bottom is the width of the band when you're on the big band here. This narrow one, there is no width control, and we might use that later, who knows. If we click here and drag up and down, we change the effective gain reduction range, and then the threshold control is down here or right here at the top of that red box. We also have the on-off control, obviously, and then there's a solo and a monitor, and we're going to use the solo first to just solo the bandwidth that is going to be affected by the plugin module and to find the S's, and then we're going to use the monitor, and I'll talk about what that is when we get there. So let's go ahead and find those S's.
Silence, silence, silence.
So that's right about where this one is. And I know it looks like we're in the middle of the frequency range, which would be strange for the S sibilants to be, but it's because we're zoomed way in. And we can zoom out by clicking and dragging left and right anywhere inside of here. And you can see that we're way over here. So it's not like we're in the middle of the frequency spectrum. We're just centered inside of the plugin window here. So now that we have that, what we can do is monitor. And the monitor, when I play the audio, is again going to solo this band, but only going to play the sound that's being reduced by the compressor. So let's go ahead and check that out. So up here, there's no gain reduction happening to that sibilance. And as I turn down the threshold, that's what's getting taken away from the signal. So if I unmonitor,
Silence, 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 silence.
So you notice how much is getting taken away there? I'm going to go ahead and crank the threshold all the way down just so you can really hear.
Silence, 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 silence.
So this is highlighting what is so powerful about this Weiss Deess from Softube. Even though the threshold is all the way down and we're getting in a crazy amount of gain reduction, way too much, it still sounds great. And that's what makes this particular plugin so powerful.
Silence, 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 silence.
So here you can actually hear that I'm getting rid of stuff other than the S tone. That's where I can pull up on the threshold.
Silence, 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 silence.
So that's where I would leave it. I would say that's pretty close to done without diving too much more into the plugin and getting any more complicated. And I want to show you at the end of this video right now the actual effect. So if I go ahead and take the audio from there and let's go ahead and record it, and let's just see what the waveform looks like now that we have that de-esser on there.
We live in silence.
Look at the difference here. Boom, boom. Crazy difference. And it just sounds better. So that's how you do de-essing with the Weiss Deess. It sounds incredible. The actual quality of the de-essing is what's important with this plugin. It's super easy to use, but does a fantastic job. So anyway, I hope you learned something. I hope that was under 2 minutes, and I hope to see you next Tuesday.